Hey friend, welcome to Milk and Honey with Lemon. The Bible says in Numbers 14:8, and if the Lord is pleased with us, he will bring us safely into that land and give it to us. It is a rich land flowing with milk and honey. On this podcast, we talk about stepping into that overflow that God has for us by becoming those ultimate Proverbs 31 women. Hey, I'm Lemon. I am just like you, sister friend. I knew God had something more in store for me, but I couldn't see a way out of the laundry piles. And frankly, I resented that Proverbs 31 woman. How was I going to live up to the hype? That is until I found out how to really step into becoming this Proverbs 31 woman through leadership development. In this podcast, you're going to find financial freedom, leadership growth, and motivation so you'll be able to do all the things God has called you to do with ease and really step into that land of milk and honey. Friends, it's Lemon, and I'm so excited to just record this fun solo episode because it's something that's been hot on my brain. I recently binged all of Owning Manhattan. If you have not watched Owning Manhattan yet, 10 out of 10 recommend that you go watch Owning Manhattan. It has nothing to do with your faith. I just want to be really clear. It has nothing to do with your faith. But if you are a business owner, this show is for you. Ryan Serhant, I hope I said his last name, Ryan. If you ever hear this podcast one day or anybody that is a Serhant agent hears it, sorry if I butchered that. Anyway, Ryan started a brokerage during the pandemic, and this brokerage was number 11 within its first year, and then shot up to number 6 at the time they filmed it, which is probably, I would say, given the way like reality shows work, it was probably beginning-ish of 2023. Maybe like spring of 2023 when they filmed this show. So he was number 6 at the time. And then he just drops a bunch of business nuggets and like sales nuggets throughout the entire 8 episodes. It is so good. But I then became so fascinated by him because he just has this incredible brand. And so I was just absolutely floored by Ryan and the brand that he built. And so he has a membership. It's called sellit.com. There's a 2-week free trial. And I am in the middle of his personal branding course. And there's something that he says that I really love. And I wanted to share that with you today. So one of the things Ryan talks about in this course is, what is your and? What are you passionate about outside of your business? What could you do all day outside of your business? If you weren't making money from your business, what would you be doing? Where do you like to go when you relax? What are those things? So what I did, so I answered all of those questions that he had. And then I took it and I put it into ChatGPT and I had it analyze it. That is why I love ChatGPT. Like, I use it for my Facebook group whenever I get an influx of people in. I have it analyze all of their answers, spit out some common themes, what some topics I should talk about, that sort of thing. So it's not like writing content for me, but it is doing all the analysis for me, which is really convenient. So I had ChatGPT analyze all of my answers. It gave me is that as much as I love homestead stuff, as much as I love growing our own food, as much as I love all of those things, I actually am way more passionate about being by the beach. I love coastal living. I grew up on the beach. That's really my jam. And I love being next to the ocean. I can sleep listen, if Glenn hears this, he will attest to this. But I could sleep just fine with sand in my bed. It doesn't bother me if I could just go from the ocean and go get in my bed and take a nap. It does not bother me. I don't know if that's gross. If it's gross, don't message me on Instagram about it. That's all I'm going to say. Because I don't want to know. I do shower, but at some point I will shower, but I don't care. If my car has sand in it, I don't care. Do I vacuum it out on a regular basis? Yes. But is it like stressing me out in the moment? No, absolutely not. So I'm passionate about that. I love fresh seafood. Like, I'm a seafood snob because I grew up on the ocean. And so when I spit this out, I was like, oh, this is the thing. Like, biblical leadership and women is like what I do full time for quote unquote work. The podcast, Girl Power Lines, all of it fit under that category. And I'm a beach enthusiast, like a beach lifestyle enthusiast. I'm a coastal living enthusiast, and particularly like a southern coastal living. That to me, that's my brand. That's how I'm different than everybody else. And so he gave some like really cool examples. So he was talking about an agent he worked with who was obsessed with local restaurants. And so every Thursday, this real estate agent, without fail, would go to dinner with her husband somewhere local. And she would post about it on her social media. And then she got to know chefs and restaurant owners, and they started sharing her content. And she built this whole following. And so then she had built this loyal following who trusted her judgment. She built a whole newsletter around it, sharing specials for the week and where she was going and all those kind of things. But she builds this following of people who trust her judgment because she's recommending good food to them. And honestly, I love this example that he gave because that's actually how I got started in 2011. I did bar and restaurant reviews because I grew up in a tourist town. And I resonated with that because the intention was just something I'm passionate about. I like going out and trying craft beer. I like going out and seeing what's fresh and seasonal on a menu. And I want to hear the chef's take behind why he created something. I think it was so fun for me when I did that. And it became like a whole side hustle. My meals started getting comped when I would go to restaurants and people knew who I was. And it was just a smart move to make for me. And so I resonated with this real estate agent who did that because guess what? She started selling a ton of listings. People naturally would come to her and say, oh, I want to buy a house and I want to be in walking distance of these restaurants. Where can I go? Where can I be? She created an entire culture around something that had nothing necessarily to do with her business. And so I want to ask you, what is your and? What is the thing that is different? What are you excited about that has nothing to do with your business? Because that's how you differentiate yourself in the market. It's how you build a brand. I want to be super clear. Maybe that's the only thing you share on social media. It's about business and this and whatever your and is. And that's not disingenuous. It's not inauthentic. This is something I love that he said. Ryan Serhant was saying, does Ryan go home and put on sweatpants and watch Netflix? Absolutely, I do. But that's not what's going in my feed because it doesn't speak to the brand and how I want to present myself when it comes to my brand. And so I've said this for years, is that everybody has a personal brand, whether you're intentional about it or not. And so when you are thinking about you as a person, you as a business owner, you have a brand that is just you, whether you're intentional about it or not. And so I want to encourage you today to go think about what your and is. What is the thing that you love? What could you talk about unprompted that doesn't pay you? It doesn't pay you. Instead, it just fuels you and you get excited about it and you love it. Whatever, it could be gardening, it could be homesteading, it could be, I don't know, underwater welding. That was like a trend on TikTok a couple of months ago. You guys remember that? I don't know what your thing is, but whatever your thing is, decide that's your thing. That's how you differentiate yourself in the market and you become someone that people think about. So that's your homework. If you're struggling with your and, then message me on Instagram. Let's talk about it. I'm happy to help you. And I can't wait to see how you show up differently in your business. So I hope this was super helpful and I will see you guys next time. Bye, friends.
Hey friend, what a joy it has been to share today's journey with you. If you found a spark of inspiration or a nugget of wisdom that resonated, would you bless someone else by sharing this episode with them? It could be the encouragement they need to step into their purpose and calling. Also, if you could spare a moment to leave a review, it would mean the world to me. I really appreciate your feedback and it really helps our community grow. Remember, the road to discovering God's call for you isn't one you have to walk alone. So join me again next Monday for another episode where we'll continue to explore the depths of leadership and the heights of our heavenly calling. Until then, keep seeking, keep growing, and keep trusting in His plan. God bless you, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye, friend.